Hello, dear friends of the early morning. Welcome to the Dark Unknown, a channel where every story chills you to the bone, and where even silence holds secrets. Here, we can feel what you feel as you travel through the darkest corners of the world. So, put on your headphones, turn out the lights, and prepare to dive into a new story. Tonight, we'll talk about the Trail of Whispers. Dark tales marked by ancient secrets, by screams that still echo through the woods, and by entities that may still be among us. The Trail of Whispers, 2 stories you will never forget. First story. There was a place that did not appear on any map. A forgotten trail, surrounded by trees so ancient they seemed to guard secrets older than the earth itself. Some said it appeared only to those who needed to find it. Others, that it appeared only to those who would never return. The road leading there was lonely. Narrow and almost swallowed by the undergrowth, it led to a discreet entrance, marked only by 2 twisted trunks, as if forming a natural gate. From that point on, the daylight seemed to fade. The air grew colder. The silence was almost absolute. It was the kind of silence that made your own footsteps sound far too loud. After hours of walking, the path narrowed. Branches hung low over the trail, forcing passage beneath long, dense shadows. Then a broken wooden bench appeared, covered in moss. On it sat a glass bottle, with a soaked piece of paper inside. The words were smudged, but a few could still be read. He followed me, even after he was dead. The wood of the bench was marked by deep scratches, as if fingernails had tried to grip it. The wind blew colder, and for the first time, it seemed to come from behind. Years earlier, 2 men had walked this trail. One of them disappeared forever. The survivor claimed that, in the fog, he felt as though he was being followed. With every step he took, another step followed. Always at the same distance. Always silent, until he stopped, and then it stopped too. The moment he saw his friend again, he knew something was wrong. His friend's face seemed covered by liquid shadows that moved beneath the skin, and his eyes were black, like bottomless pits. No one believed that story. But it has never stopped echoing here. The trail continued to a clearing where an abandoned cabin stood. The wood was rotted, and the interior was filled with a thick smell of mildew and damp earth. On a table, an old tape recorder sat waiting, a tape poised to play. When it was turned on, it emitted noises and crackles before a female voice emerged, low, broken. "He doesn't want me to reach the end. The path changes. It's no longer buried, he walks with me." The tape ended with a dragging sound. Heavy. Slow. Second story. That voice belonged to a woman who had disappeared years earlier. Her body was never found, but locals claimed that, on foggy nights, someone would call out for her, always with the same intonation. No matter where you were, the voice always seemed close, as if it were right behind you. The return seemed impossible. With every turn, the path changed. The descent became an ascent. The trees seemed to switch places. And with each forced loop, they passed once again by the broken bench, by the cabin. It felt as if the trail was trapping them, folding space and time around them. The fog closed in completely, until 2 figures emerged. A man and a woman. The man's eyes were black and empty. The woman, identical to the photos of Cecilia. Both stood still, staring intently. Without blinking. It was the same spot shown in the video that had marked the beginning of the journey. But at that moment, it was no longer a video. It was real. And the caption that read, "If you can make it to the end of the trail, you will understand," was not an invitation. It was a sentence. perhaps, the trail is still there, waiting for those brave enough to enter. But if you decide to follow it, remember, not everyone comes back. There are other places, other stories, that I will tell you very soon. What happened that night remains unexplained. But it is not the only story that echoes in the darkness. There is more, and you will hear it in the next video. If you think this story is over, you are mistaken. The darkness holds many others, and they are closer than you imagine. I will see you in the next video.